Welcome, it's Dr. Phil here. Look at all this stuff here. I've got some gold, which I'm just separating out at the moment from some random rubbish. It looks pretty good over there. But I've got opal as well. Yay! Let me show you the opal. Here's a piece of opal. Isn't that amazing? So that is just one of the pieces of opal that was from the Cooper Pedy package from ever such a long time ago. I thought I might do a quick video this afternoon. Thought I'd also show you something proving that I'm an Australian. Today I'm not actually going with Vegemite. Look at this. I am going with something called Promite. And those people on the UK, I don't know if you actually have Promite or not. I think you do, but if you don't, as far as I know, it's kind of very similar to Marmite. So it's not the amazing bitter experience that Vegemite is. It's just a little bit sweeter than that. If you can call it sweeter, because, well, you know what it's like. Oh, nom 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 nom. So, what I thought I'd tell you is that while I was in working today, a few things arrived in the mail, and those things are cool. This is my laser. This is the green one, and I've been looking for the blue one because I decided to make the heading laser opal. So in order to make laser opal heading, you probably need to have a laser and an opal. That sounds like a plan. But no. All right, let's have a look over here. So this is the pile that I've been ever so systematically going through. I work as well, so I can't just sit there and invest all of my time just hunting through opal. I've got to actually, do a job and stuff. Sorry about that. But today I'm actually leaving my computer for an hour because of the CloudStrike problem. I don't want to have my computer auto update like it did last week and cause trouble, so I'll just do a live stream. So this is my opal. Over here, I can use my laser pointer. Yay! Over here we have the good opal, and over here we have the not necessarily well-known opal, and over here we have definitely no color opal, and over here we have fossil opal. So that's how I'm doing things. Now, why would I even bother using a laser with opal? So when people are doing their opal cutting, they actually usually use a torch. And I come from a slightly different background than that. I'm going to use this maybe as a bit of a demonstrator because I know it's a bit clearer. And one of the lasers, I should use the blue laser as well because that's actually better in certain circumstances. But just grabbing a few random pieces of opal, and what I'm pointing out here is this is the random pile, so I don't know what I'm selecting. So I don't know what I'm getting. But I'll put this into the holder here just so that I'll adjust everything later. But all I want to do is I want to explain why I use a laser. Now, the general idea with opal, it's harder to work out with an opal like this, a dark opal. There's potentially sand in the middle of the opal. As a matter of fact, I know there's sand in the middle of this opal. And detecting that sand and detecting precious opal is a really big... Oh, do you love eating crayons? That's good. Don't eat lasers is what I can say. Even when they say in the movies, eat lasers, don't eat the lasers, okay? Anywho, so when we've got these opals, these are unknown quantities. Now, I use the green lasers because you've got a chance of getting through, but we've got sunlight outside, and sunlight is brighter than lasers as a general rule. I've gotten the brightest legally allowable laser in Australia, and it's still not bright enough, really. But what you can do is if we point from behind, you can actually see just a little bit. Well, I can see it anyway. You can see how, like, there's a bit of a halo. You can actually see the lasers making it all the way through that opal, even the black stuff. And it's not making it over here because there's a bit of sand. So you can use the laser to peer right through the opal if you've got a powerful enough laser. And Cooper is an absolute doddle because, well, it's a lot whiter. So when you do that, you can actually see right into the opal. So this is much better than opal torch. Now, I don't know what you're seeing here. I'm just going to try and... I can see everything, but I'm trying to make it so that you can see it. It's actually overloading the sensor here. But what I can see here is cracks in the opal. It's very obvious where the cracks are. Just so that you know, there's one going straight down there. And I don't know what this opal is actually going to do. I might just cut it as a demonstration. So I'll put it there. Don't know if there's colour in it, because we don't have enough sunlight to determine that. I could find out, but you know, what's the fun in that? So here's another opal here, and I'll just do exactly the same kind of thing, and you can spot the crack relatively easily. So in this particular instance, I know that there's a crack that goes down here. There's a crack that goes up into there as well. Let's flip it over and have a look. I could see some other stuff that was going on. Yep, the opal's cracked right in half. Easy to tell. Now, if I shine the light from behind with the green laser, don't get much because there is sand in the way. So now I know that there's actually a sand layer that's occluding somewhere. But if I shine from the other side, you can see how the entire opal just lights up. So you know where the sand layer starts and stops. Hi, Francie. Is that good, or should I say it in a French accent? Bonjour, Français. Ha ha ha. Obligatory. Ha ha ha. I like turtles. Well, I do too. I used to have a pet turtle. Had two. There's obviously a thing that people do nowadays, isn't there? That they come into the live chat and they say something like, my mum smells like pee or something. I don't know. So good, amazing, excellent, excellent progression of society. Oh, that's all right. Kawabogo. Is that how we say it? Kawabogo. So there we go. So what you can see here, this is a wood opal, and these opals are notoriously difficult to cut through. So knowing as much about them as possible is good. So if you shine the light from this side, you get lots of shine through. You shine the light from this side, you don't get as much because the sand layers are there. But you can actually see that there's actually a little bit of shine through on this left-hand side. So you know that there is sand all around here. There's not as much sand on this side. So if you're going to cut it, you then start looking for layers. So you can see that you can actually see where the sand layers are. So you know to cut laterally down this way. And then you know to start working your way through the sand on this side. It's much, much easier to deal with opals when you know all about the opal as opposed to guessing. So that's why I do what I'm doing. Now let's go have a quick look at our water levels. Dum dum dum. So I'm putting that there. I haven't changed my, that's an opal I will cut today. I'm just checking to see. The only slight problem that you get with laser opals is that you get the post glow effect. So I've got this red dot in face at the moment. That's the reverse of the green dot that I've been using as the laser. So it blinds you a little bit. Don't directly look into a laser. That's a bad idea. So what I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to have a quick look at the water level. What are we up to? We are up to critical. We're nearly empty of water. So, no worries. We've got water here. Let's fill her up. That's why I'm Dr. Phil. Doctor, fill it up with water. I'm just going to pop this over to here. Pop this spacer here so that we've got everything where we want it. Okay, there we go. Now I'm also going to, as a precaution, my home internet is so intermittent, I'm better off I'm better off using that, I think. So I do apologise if you get the occasional Minecraft adventure, but it is better overall to do it this way. So very carefully just grabbing, I'm just positioning the phone. Where is the, no, where's the spacer gone? Well, that sucks. There it is. So pop the spacer there, pop the phone there. Whoop. It'll get there, don't you worry. We're on the home stretch, as they say. We are not on the home stretch, as they say. I'll work out a better system later. There we go. Move the whole business over. There we go. We're nearly there. Come on, get in. Perfect. Now, stay, behave. Other things. Right. I'm just going to grab some water quickly. This is a very efficient operation. We need very little amount of water to actually make it all work, but some water is necessary. So I'm going to just pop it from critical to subcritical, and that'll be enough. I have to be somewhere at 6:30, so once again, I have to make sure that I'm aware of the time. And I'm sure if you're from another country, you have no idea what the time is over here. I do believe it's about 10 o'clock in the United States. I'm trying to cater for American audiences, but there's this thing called work. And, you know, I think that it's a bad choice to choose your YouTube channel over your work. So, by necessity, I have to go a bit later. Okay, filling up the water. You're probably seeing nothing of what I'm doing. Don't worry, it's all very exciting. There's explosions and everything. And an awful lot of lying. Okay, that's it, water's full. Well, full-ish. Now, whilst we're here, if you were here yesterday, you would have seen this piece fly off. So I'm putting that back down where it goes. Now, the only thing left to do is to attach the water to the supply, and I've got to do just a quick thing to get that happening because I had to completely cut the water supply off. It'll be gravity fed once I get it started. You don't want to know what I had to do there. But the cool thing is that I did bring my sandwiches. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. And I've got my lasers. We can have a bit of a laser disco show. Yay! Laser disco. Do, do, do. Okay. Now I'm just going to tighten this control up a bit. Yeah, I bet you came for the lasers. There you go. Lasers! Woo! Now, first one we're going to do is we're going to cut this guy because, let's have a look at it again. Saw some cracking. So I'll tell you where the cracking is. It's a crack going across there. Should be more cracking than that. Going right across, and there's a more subtle crack just going along there. So that's that one, and that one is not one that I'm measuring the cracks on. I'm doing this one. This will be the interesting one because it's really badly cracked. So we'll see how we go. So this one has got an epic crack, and I'm just going to try and make you see it. Yeah, you can see the crack there. See that crack? Plain as the nose of your face. And also, I'll try going from the other side. It's harder to spot this one. Maybe if I go right to the bottom corner. No. Alright, it's easier to see in real life. So there's another crack that just runs across there. But I know where all the cracks are now. Easy as pie once you've got a laser to do it. Now, people usually use an Opal torch. And there's nothing wrong with an Opal torch. It's just it's so imprecise. The lasers, you instantly know everything about the Opal. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. Let's get this party started. Just check the size as well. Yeah. I'm sure you can see that. There's definitely a discontinuity between the two layers there. I'm not going to worry too much about that because that's basically a cap. It's an orange cap, so I don't think it's going to cause much of trouble. What I'll do is I'll just carve the whole thing off. Want me to zoom in a bit? I reckon it'd be nice. I'll have to just change the angle a bit. Bear with me. I have to zoom out a bit, I think. Not going to play ball. I will. No, zoomed in further, believe it or not. Can I work with that? I think I can. Here we go. Let's just pop this in here. Like so. And there we go. Come on, work. There it is. Add a little bit more. Add a little bit more. There we go. And now we have the item as we want it, sort of. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I lied, not quite so perfect. Finding something I can use as a spacer. That's too big. That's not big enough. Might have to zoom out, that's sad. I need to sort through this anyway. Start closing here. And here we go. Let's see if that looks. No, it doesn't work. How about that? Does that work? That works. There we go. Perfect. Let's move that out of the way and we're good. Here we go. I'm going to make a more precise holder for the phone on my to-do list. Now I'm just being a bit cautious here because this opal, I happen to know this orange cap sometimes is a holder of secrets. There's sometimes some beautiful opal just sitting behind that. So I'm just having a look at what's in there as I go. The other mystery, of course, is what happened to my other laser. Because I had it like this morning. It's not as important at the moment, but eventually it will be. Because if you understand anything about light, light is a particular frequency of wave and a particular energy of photon. I know that's all boring sciencey crap, but different properties reflect at different wavelengths, and different materials reflect at different energy levels. There's stuff called absorption spectra, there's stuff called emission spectra. These are all very important things for understanding our world. It's how we figure out what stars are made of. It's also how a tiny little satellite can be hanging several hundred kilometers above your head and figure out what plant is growing. So these are really important. These are really important innovations. Understanding what is going on. So if you can figure out all of that sort of stuff from orbit, then maybe we should have a crack at looking at opals right next to them. The difference in techniques is the difference in what we call proximal sensing and remote sensing. Essentially, the camera and the laser, as I'm using them at the moment, that's proximal sensing. It's one of the reasons why you have some really good agricultural maps from time to time, from place to place. Now, let me just do an experiment. Seeing I've sliced in this opal, we'll actually see what it looks like now I've got the laser on it. See that? Let's go into the crack, just to give you an idea of what all this does. This is not necessarily to learn anything about the opal, it's just to show you what the properties of the lasers are like. So if we go from here, we now see that the laser is blocking all of the sand still. So this opal is still quite opaque. So what we know from this, we know what the laser does, but we also, did that move? No, if it drops, it'll drop into the water. That'll be great. Well, it'll be exciting for you guys. It'll be devastating for me. So basically, we know how the light travels through here. We know that there are certain types of opal that the light does not travel through. And knowing this kind of thing helps us to determine the properties of the opal. Eventually, I want to be able to determine where the precious opal happens to be. But in order to do that, I have to make my own piece of equipment. But people think sometimes that doing science is like, you know, sitting there with a lab coat and test tubes boiling over and speaking German and stuff. It's not. Science is accessible to everybody. All you need to do is perform a few experiments, repeat them, and then put the results into a spreadsheet. Don't worry about my thumb. Everyone asks. No, let's have a look. That went right along the crack that I saw before. There's one more crack here too, so that's what it looks like now. There's the opaque part. You can still see it. So everything is proceeding as much as you know the opal will proceed. Just because we know something about the opal from the light, from the laser light. So you can see that there's still a crack here. I'm wondering if it'll actually crack apart. No, it won't. But that's okay. Let's just get it all. Let's get it all lovely. I'll be examining it, but I don't think you guys will be able to see how deep the crack is. The crack is very deep. So it will crack apart. So I'm just going to go to the other side and smooth it out, and it'll at some stage just fall apart. Might help it on its way. Okay, here's an interesting feature I'm going to show you about opal. If you have a look over here, you'll see this kind of shiny part of the opal just over here. Do not be fooled. That is a crack. Let me see if I can still see it. There we go. So I've cut into the opal there, and let's see if we can get that. There we go. There's that shiny part just on that little edge. That is just because the opal's cracked. It's not because the opal's particularly precious. Something you need to know. There's another crack here. We're going to get rid of that. But we knew all of this when we started because we looked into it with the light. So getting messages. I'm not doing anything. So that was interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this piece and we're going to shape it all up, because that piece fell off the opal yesterday. It's a nice piece. And I shall dot thee up once you're done. Yeah. Right, so here we go. Here's our opal. Beautiful chunk of opal right there. Just going to face it up a bit. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nothing but good opal there. Notice that it's getting so small that I'm starting to scoop it out a little bit, so I'm going to have to stop with this. So I'm just checking the underside. Yeah, the underside's good. So that opal will now be put onto a dot stick and I will properly shape it there. Okay, what shall we do next? We'll do this wood opal. I'll have a quick look on the laser because that's the whole reason why I brought it. So I'll just examine it. I'm remembering which side is actually the Dodge side. Okay, so there. You can see as I move the laser up and down, you can see that the opal glows. We'll just go pop through here. Okay, so basically it's hard to see the cracks in this one, but basically this whole section of opal here is connected. What I will do though is I will start in slices. I will be very carefully cutting it off in slices, and you can see it's a little bit sacrilegious. It's wood opal, but there's plenty of this kind of wood opal around, and I'm pretty certain this particular species is Glossoptera, but it's all the opal, all the wood fossils that I've ever been able to find, other than a few ginsigs. So first I'll just carve off the first bits. Right, so let's go right into this opal here. You can see how the sand is starting to dissipate on this side, and the sand is still good and strong on this side. I'm able to make way more precise cuts if I know what's going on inside the opal. So what I'll be doing here, okay, so this piece here, that is something that I'll try to grind off a bit. I think we've got to be careful because we're moving into the precious here. This part here also I need to grind that off. I'm pretty more certain about that one, and I might have to do some groove cuts into there just to see how deep that sand goes. So there's no such thing as a perfect panacea for everything. Excuse me not talking, I am concentrating, of course. Now at the moment, all I'm doing is cutting out the sand, and that means that the opal is going to be a bit of a wacky shape until we work out where the opal is taking us. That is all part of the process. Sometimes the opal is taking us all the way to powder. I'm certainly hoping that's not the case here, but it's certainly likely, it's on the cards. There we go. There we go. Get that bit done. So that's that sand certainly does go quite deep, and that's all right. We kind of knew it did. So the sand has been eviscerated there. Good. Going to give it a quick rinse. Have a look at it. These wood opals are probably the most technical of cuts. So let's have a look at going along here. I moved the, yeah, I did. Sorry. Nearly done. I might have to cut that piece off. Don't want to, but I have to. That piece too. And it's obvious that, like, other than the fact that it's starting to become a pretty naughty shape, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to look away, guys, basically. Ow. Eye-watering just thinking about that. Oh well. What can you do? We're not here to make robotic carvings. I mean, I suppose I could. I'm not sure where I put it. I did get a piece of opal rough which naturally made that shape, so I think I've gotten all of that kind of 5-year-old immaturity out of my system. You'd hope, anyway. Right. So, yeah, it faces this way. It's not a great opal, but it's not a terrible opal. It's one of those ones that's, you know, worth your while doing, but not, you know, don't bust your gut getting it all done. So, I'll have a look at this one under the microscope and in my own time to see what else can be done with it. But it's not a bad little stone, it's just a little bit clear. Let's have a look around, see if we can spot any. There is a little bit of flash, but not a lot of flash. So, I'll dop it, see what happens with it. Even if it doesn't shine up when you dop it, it's still worth doing. And hell to the air is it worth doing, because have a look at this. There is where the precious opal is. So let's clean it up a bit more, see if we can pinpoint the opal. So what I'm going to be doing here is, I know how these things go. These wood opals tend to face a particular way, and a lot of the time they're perpendicular to the length of the stick. So I know where this is headed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to carve it into 3 or 4 thin sections. That piece is going because I want it to be uniform, because I'm going to essentially calibrate it. That piece is going because it is sandy and I want to get really accurate. Still a little bit of sand sitting in there. That might actually become a stone of its own right, but we're not going to worry about that. Now the only problem we've got here is the fact that we might still have some sand in that side. Let's have a look at this side. Right, so sand is on this side. Let's have a look. We'll use the We use the laser to try and find it. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. I can tell you if you can't. The sand goes only about 1mm deep there. Let's go have a look at this other side. 1mm deep there, 1mm. Okay, so all of those sand splodges, those particular sand splodges will resolve themselves. The only question you've got is how many other sand splodges are sitting within the opal. That's the problem. It's not the sand splodges that you can see. It's the ones that you can't. So let me have a look through here. I don't see that much evidence of pervading sand. There is one more piece of sand that we can't see, sitting deep within the opal. So what I might be able to do is I might be able to cut it at that point. So we might be able to slice it apart at that point, and that will help. So very carefully cut these away. I anticipate the sand will go away after just a few little grinds. Hello, Daphne. Goodbye, Daphne. Daphne doesn't like the sound of opal equipment. And Daphne's a dog, in case you're interested. For those playing at home. Or, for the love of one. Okay, so right, so we'll get these out. These are not going to be too deep, but there is one deeper, so we've got to be prepared for that one. It might just be a black spot of potch, but what we can do either way is I've got in the game plan to cut this into three very small stones. So here we go. First stone will be along this line of sand, because I think may as well do it that way. Okay, so that's that one done. And as you can see, nice piece of opal sitting right in the middle. Pretty much ready to be docked. So I'm not going to so much worry about the sand that's there, but I will try and get rid of some of it. I don't want to hang around on the sand too much. It's already kind of cut in the right way. It's already faced. It's basically a rub ready to be turned into a gem. That'll do. So there we go. Beautiful gem. Probably that side. There you go. That's one done. I can cut another two out of this one. So here's the piece. Let's just cut this piece in half. I'm going to find out where the sand spot is, because I think there is one in here. So here we go. Let's have a look. Not so much a sand spot as a sand line. Right, I'm just going to have a quick look. This is the spot there. That'll be fine. But there is a line going down, so what I'll do is I'll just cut it laterally and take my chances. But there is potentially something will go terribly wrong with this one. There we go. Let's have a look at it. Fortunately for us, it was a piece of black potch, which actually makes life easier for us. So we've got that little nodule sitting in there. We've got the choice of how to face that up. I think probably facing that up will go something like this. Okay, there we go. Just have to cut this back a bit on this side. Other than that, pretty much ready to go. There we go. So there's another gem ready to go. It's this one, a sister stone in the form of a drop. Final one here, and this was cut out of a very, very small piece of wood opal. That's why I swear by using lasers to see into the opals, because if you're dealing with small and intricate things, you can really get in there and you can see the detail you need to cut. And if you've got yourself a nice precise blade, the sky is the limit, because you can make some very good gems out of some very limited material. Okay, so this piece might actually crack off, so we're going to try and crack it off. Okay, I'll have to cut it off. It's already cracked, so there's no... There's no problem here. And yes, everyone asks, no, I'm not going to cut my hands. The blade does not cut. A lot of the time I sit there and, tap the blade. I can't be bothered today. Tiny little piece of opal. That one will become a nice stone, but it's very, very small. This is the one that I'm going to be topping up. So I've managed to get ourselves 3 opals out of the one tiny little piece of wood opal, and we've still got this to carve. So we've got 4 pieces of wood opal. Brilliant stuff. Now, what have we got here? Not doing that one. What have we got here? We've got this one. Let's do this one. So whilst we've got the torch here, we may as well. So I'm going to look at it. You're not necessarily going to see all that I can see, which is a bit of a shame. Okay, so actually you're seeing relatively clearly what I'm seeing. The sand stops it before you get to this crack here. Before you get to here, there's actually a stoppage of sand. So may as well cut that bit off. Let me have a look. Right. Okay, it's not as contiguous as you'd expect. There's actually a lot of interference going on in there. What happens when okay, cool. From this point though, you can see right through the stone. See? The opal goes right through. So that's good. So, what I know from that is that this piece here is better than this piece here. What will we do with it though? I will very carefully cut and see what happens. So there we are, we're into the precious opal just down there, just as predicted. This part here is still a worry, so we'll cut this the entire way through. Then we shall investigation. Okay, so that's looking a lot better than I expected, which is good. Nice to be pleasantly surprised. The thing that was upsetting was the sand that was over there. So what I might do is I'll see. I don't think that's contiguous, that sand there. But I'm really interested now in getting this opal to resolve itself. Let's see if we can spot where the opal goes. Sorry, you might want to see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. So if you go to the left-hand side of the stone, where is it shining? Shining just there, is it? All right, so there is a small amount of material. You can see that, how it's shining all the way through. There is a small gateway, basically, of opal that goes through there. But it's a thin one. So let's have a look at what we would be expecting in our gateway. Yeah, okay, so there's definitely going to be some kind of sand blockage at some point along there. So the only thing we can do really is cut as close to the opal as possible without cutting through it, and cut away from the sand. Try and get to the sand. That's very soft. At a guess, I'd say it is sand, but as far as I can tell, I'm cutting above the opal all the way. That was a bit of a dodgy cut right there. It went up a bit too high. Shouldn't have done that, but that's all right. Oh, I see. Okay, so this opal is quite a lot harder than the rest of it. So there's probably opal underneath, so I'm going to cut around it. Be careful, Phil. That was a bit too brutal. So that was essentially matrix. There was nothing much in there. And you can see that I nearly was perfect with my accuracy there. Let's cut through here. Right, so this is where we're going to have to make a decision. I'm just going to grind this side back a bit. I'm also going to stop the... Yeah, okay. Had this issue yesterday. Doesn't matter. I'll try and work it out eventually. It's just when the blade gets a bit old and gets a bit recalcitrant. Come on, you can do it. Got it. Right. No. Should be working though. There we go. Good blade. Push it right back in. just as the equipment gets older, bits get worn, and it happens. So don't worry too much about it. We can work around this. The temptation is to put more force on the blade, and that's really what causes the issues to occur. Also, when you're cutting the opal, sometimes when you're cutting, you're concentrating so much on cutting here, you actually hit this part here, and that destabilizes the hold on the opal cutter. So there's a lot to unpack about what goes on there, but long story short, it's all okay. Let's move these out of the way. Let's finish these off, do the birds, and then I'll get on with my other activities for the day, evening time. In answer to the unspoken question, what side do you attack the opal from? You don't know. A lot of it's luck. A lot of it is good judgment as well. So what you kind of do as you're doing this is you kind of rub it back a bit on one side just to see what it looks like. Because this potch, it doesn't serve no purpose. And that's not a double negative, it's a proper double negative. It serves a purpose. The potch is there to retain the stability and the colour of the opal, so you can't just ignore it. I'm noting that this is mostly sand here. Well, it's silicate potch, really. If you did an analysis, you'd find there was just a little bit more basically silica dioxide compared to the hydrated silica that you see in opal. Very technical, sorry. So, as Julius Caesar said, alia jacta est, the die is cast. Because I am going from this side, I'm going in on this side. There is no second guessing now. I suppose I could if an emergency occurred, but pretty much if I do that, I'm making a clear opal, so preparing it for a doublet. Or in layman's terms, ruining it. So have a look. Ooh. Okay. This is a toughie. See how far that's going. We always said it was complicated. I didn't know it was that complicated. It's complicated like a relationship on Facebook. So that is all good. That is all good. But how far does that go? Ugh, too bright. Very hard to see, but I don't think that sand goes too much deeper. God, stop. There is definite evidence. Sorry, my phone's ringing. There is definite evidence that there is still sand there. That's the only spot though. I will later. Right, so here we go. Okay, I've got to be watchful here because this potch is very, very, very close to being fixed. But if I am not careful about it, I will lose a lot more opal than I need to. See there? Nearly got it all out. Once we've gotten it out, we can then make a decision on what we're going to cut the stone as. Okay. There's still a piece in there, but I'm not too worried about that. So, this piece will come off, and that will become a stone eventually. But we're no longer worrying about it. It's no longer our concern. That's fine. Okay, tough decision time. I think that because there's a crack here, I'm going to just cut it straight across there. Make 2 cabs. Here we go. And that was very diagnostic. I'll show you why in a second. Have a look back here. You can see how this opal just absolutely smashes back onto the black. So we've got good signs, we've got good vibes, we've got excellent stuff going on here. All I'm doing now is I'm just smoothing out some edges, making it look more cab-shaped. The more cab-shaped it is, the less time I have to spend on a sander or something. I'm not worrying too much about getting into the colour because that will happen. Where did it go? There it is. Right, now let's just make the back as good. Dropsy. Sudden gust of gravity. So what I'm doing at the moment with my cabs is I'm angling the base up a little bit, just so that there's an incentive to just push the stone in a bit. That's all. I'll be talking to a jeweler and seeing if that's a good idea. I even want to put a little notch in so that you can literally slot it in. But this depends on what the jewelers want, really. There we go. There is your cab. It's not a taxi cab. Okay. We have still this piece of material to go. I am fast running out of time, so what I'll do is I'll cut this piece off, make a triangle stone, and then that'll be pretty much it. Now, while I advocate that you shouldn't hesitate to cut, there is still no harm in checking. So that's why I'm doing this. At the moment, I'm considering doing a much smaller cut than I first anticipated, because the opal might be demanding it. Okay, so I've been cutting, well, we've been doing this live stream for approximately 1 hour. So So this time I revealed the full face because I'm going, there might actually be some value in just cutting this bit off over here, which I think is true. That'll make a nice small stone, and the other stone will make a nice projectile from the looks of things. Let me see if I can find it. I don't want to run over it with my chair. That's a bit. It literally hit me. Where did it go? Always when I'm in a hurry. Found it. Okay. Here we go. Interesting. Okay, so the machine is also starting to give us a bit of trouble. That's fine. I'll push on this side to try and encourage it not to. But it's going to be a close run thing whether I get this stone finished or whether the machine's going to have to be readjusted. There's a crack and I didn't need a laser to spot it. Very simple. Now the touch side is a bit proud on this side, so I'm carving it back a bit. The back of the stone is just as important as the front, even though the front's nice and pretty. There's no point in having a stone if it won't fit anywhere or it doesn't look good from the sides, because no one's going to want to put it into a gem. It's usually the joke to make it all that effort polishing like a stone just for no one to ever buy it. Especially if it's worth a small fortune, which a gem this size would be. You're looking at quite an expensive stone at the moment. I'm not prepared to give an actual value because I don't know what it's going to look like in the end. Oh, that's tubby. Okay, I'm grinding it off. I'm not cutting it, I'm grinding it. Okay, I'll leave it there. So, what we've got here is kind of interesting. This stone has got some dark potch right in the middle, and I've got a quick question to ask of myself. Will that potch remain or will it go away? I don't know the answer to that question yet. We've got some darkness that's down there, and it could be, well, angling all the way up into there. So I'll see if the torch will give us any more information. Hopefully from the back now. Oh, good. Alright, it's not looking promising. So basically what you're seeing here is you're seeing that potch is basically from back to front. So I won't do it tonight, but it may well be worth my while to literally cut this thing in half. Let's have a look. Yeah, so there's that piece of potch there. It shadows the whole way through on both sides. So it's either right in the middle or it's all the way through. So that's okay. Two 2-carat stones is what we're looking at. Two 2-carat stones. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. That's a nice that's a nice proposition. So there are things we can do to examine it a bit further, but I won't do that on the live stream. I've got other things to do tonight, so we will reconvene with this opal. I'll tell you what I've done with it, and we'll see if we've either got a nice pretty stone or have we had to do smash through and cut it in half. All right, quickly say goodbye to the birds, and then we are going to get out of here. Ah, ah, do-do-do-do. There we go. Hello, Loki. Hello, Loki. Are you giving me stink eye, Loki? You're giving me the eye of stink. Come here. I'll give Max a bit of a scratch because I've got to get cracking. I'm going to let you out when I get back from picking up everyone, okay? There you go. It's amazing how much garbage ends up on his feathers. They keep growing out. He dropped a massive wing feather just this afternoon or yesterday, I can't remember. But it was one of his primaries. I think it was a wingtip. So he's clearly molting. So it's just pre-spring at the moment. We've got, I think 1 month to go before spring. So that means that the molt's probably going to happen. Well, it is happening. So it's happening right at the right kind of time. The thing about birds, as they become domesticated, they just kind of randomly molt. They don't molt at the same time anymore. I think there's a survival advantage to molting at a particular time. Get it all over and done with at once, maybe. I don't know the answer to all of life's hard questions. I just know the answers to questions like 1 + 1, that equals 2. Unless, of course, you're Bertrand Russell, in which you have to prove that 1 + 1 equals 2. Don't ask. So, that's Max done. All right. Yoink. Don't worry, I'll be back. Bernie! Yeah. So I gave some twigs and stuff to Pony. I might have told you this yesterday. I put him into the cage. That's as good as pigeons get at making nests. It's pre-spring, so she's laying eggs. She's dropping them like there's no tomorrow. Poor thing. All right. Hello, Max. Yoink. Boing. Hello. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Ooh. I'll get you in there. Yeah, this is one thing about birds, well, cockatoos in particular. Their eyes are indestructible. I don't try to hit their eyes, but you do all the time. Like, you could hit them with a red hot poker and it doesn't matter. Anyway, so that was the cutting done. Woo, you got to see lasers. Yay! I'll go and find the blue laser. Woohoo! At some point. Yay! And maybe this evening I will get the birds out and I might live stream it. I might not, bit of excitement. You never know what I'm going to do. All right, have a lovely evening. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe on the way out. It really does help the channel out a lot. Basically, YouTube views how important we are by how much people talk, like, and subscribe. So I don't like it any more than you do, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Have a wonderful evening. And even if you don't like and subscribe, I still like you. So it's all good. Have a nice day. Dr. Phil out.